4 and 4, Mr. Brock, followed by Ms. Khalid. We do have some votes we need, so I need to leave a little time for that. Go ahead, Mr. Brock, for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, gentlemen, for your attendance. Commissioner, my questions will be directed towards you for the 4 minutes that I have. Is it accurate, sir, that apart from my colleague, Mr. Barrett, he is the only parliamentarian to launch a particular complaint and a request for your office to investigate the circumstances behind the Arrive scam issue?
The current complaint, was in response to Mr. Barrett's.
Is the only parliamentarian?
My team can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that's the case.
Okay. Have you received anonymous complaints from any other source in relation to the Arrive scam debacle?
I don't have that information, and I'm not sure that that's necessarily information that I would be making public if it has been an anonymous situation. So I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Sure. I'll be more specific. Have you received any complaints, any areas of concern raised by any current or former CBSA officials or employees?
Again, these are not, the Privacy Act provides significant confidentiality obligations on me on that.
Okay, I anticipated that response. I thought I'd ask it though. Following up on a point that I'm not sure I was clear on in terms of or an inability on your part to provide meaningful consequences should there be a violation of your act. Did I get that correct?
You did. I do not currently have the ability to issue binding orders under the Privacy Act.
Okay. What about monetary penalties?
Same. There's no monetary penalties.
Okay. And this has been an issue since the Act was amended and created. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that's a concern both on the private sector side and on the public sector.
And you've made several recommendations along those lines in your current role, and I'm sure your predecessors have probably voiced very similar concerns to committee members. And literally since 2015, there has been no appetite by the Justin Trudeau government to provide any meaningful consequences to these violations. Is that correct?
Well, Bill C-27 was introduced by the government, and it would provide me with the ability to issue orders, and it would provide for the ability for fines to be issued. That's on the private sector side. In terms of the public sector, there's no bill to modernize it. Currently, the Department of Justice has done a consultation paper where that was a recommendation in terms of greater compliance mechanism, and I certainly encourage that from moving forward.
Sure. And when was that recommendation made by the DOJ?
The recommendation was made in 2021, and then since they've been consulting to get, in particular, more of an Indigenous perspective on this. My office, under my predecessor, supported this, of course, and as do I.
Okay. Quickly, one quick question on the Arrive scam issue. There is allegations, very strong allegations, that a vice president of the CBSA by the name of Min Doan had intentionally deleted 4 years' worth of relevant emails. Emails that would have been very helpful to the Auditor General when she conducted her review. Emails that would have been helpful for the internal investigator who is still investigating the actions of several players. Do you think this would have been helpful for you as well if you had access to that? And if so, sir, what do you say in terms of your position as a commissioner in relation to those allegations?
Very, very quick response, please.
Well, if I were to make any comments on that, it would be at the conclusion of an investigation if we had seen concerns. So it's not something that I would comment on at this stage.